Good evening. You're watching the Diamond News Desk at 8. We'll bring you stories that are featured on our DiamondTVZambia.com website. You can follow us on Diamond TV Online on Facebook, as well as Diamond TV Zambia on X. Do stay tuned for the headlines. The leading stories this evening on the news desk. 6 family members handed life sentences with hard labor for brutally killing elderly man over witchcraft accusations. Early rains trigger severe flooding in Lusaka's Msisi compound as residents plead for urgent government intervention. Later on, Tazara Railway's revitalization works to officially commence this Thursday as China Railway Construction Corporation chairman meets President Hichilema. I'll be back with the details. Always a pleasure to have you join us for the Diamond News Desk at 8. My name is Tapiwa Ngoma with the details. Our first story this evening, a 69-year-old man of Ngwezi settlement in Chief Hanjilika's chiefdom of Magoye is seeking justice after some of his livestock were allegedly attacked and burnt by unknown individuals. Seth Malambo says he suspects the attackers may be linked to a long-standing land dispute involving his family. He says the land was allocated to him by the government in 1992 and that he has won related court cases in both the High Court and the Supreme Court. Speaking to Diamond News, Mr. Malambo says some of his animals were found with severe burns, although he cannot confirm who poured hot water on them. He says he is now living in fear as the dispute appears to be escalating.
About 4 animals belonging to a family in Ngwezi settlement of Magoye, Chief Hanjilika chiefdom in Mazabuka district of Southern Province, have been burned by suspected hot water by unknown individuals. The owner of the animals suspects the people responsible could be those he has been in conflict with over land issues.
Ndotuterera tonse muligogo iubwa yangu yajaigwa imwi itiwa menda apya muntu ojiga menda apya otirabasu.
My animals have been killed and others are now being burnt, including my chickens. I'm in great pain, especially because I'm disabled. I've informed all the traditional leaders, including the local leaders, about the situation, but nothing is happening.
Sunonda bulema bwangu bulagisa kamboga butunduruzi bunda tundururwa ku bantu ibatali mbabo balanyiga kitangulumende nayiranga buti sibu ambirwa sibu tatoli rubazu mugambwaga ndabambira bachifi tabatoli rubazu mugambwaga.
His son is also saddened by the incident and has shared his grievances.
Bona batega kutumpira ngombe basone mbotu homa onaje yabona kubatira menda apya.
We are complaining about the animals being burned by some people, and we need help from government. According to Mr. Malambo, he has occupied the land since 1992. Stating that it was allocated to him by the government. The family says it remains in fear as the people who burn their animals are still unknown. Helga Chibwe, Diamond News in Southern Province.
In Nandombe area of Nalikwanda constituency in Mongu district, Western Province, what should be a routine trip to school has turned into a daily life-threatening challenge. With no bridge in place, young children are forced to paddle canoes across a dangerous river just to access education, sparking deep concern and frustration among parents and guardians. Residents fear the situation could lead to tragedy if no intervention is made.
The parents in Nandombe area of Nalikwanda constituency in Western Province are raising alarm over the absence of a bridge, a long-standing challenge that continues to expose their children to grave danger each morning. According to residents, pupils, some as young as those lower in ECE, must paddle small canoes across the river to reach the nearest school situated on the opposite bank. The situation has caused many parents to live in constant anxiety, unsure whether their children will arrive safely. Every time my child leaves home, my heart races. Anything can happen on that river. We want our children to learn, but must they risk their lives just to be educated? She says, we have waited for years for a proper bridge. Our young ones cannot paddle themselves across safely, especially now that it is the rainy season. So we are forced to keep some children away from school. It's heartbreaking, she says. In response to the concerns, the area councillor for Nalwei Ward has assured residents that the construction of a bridge in the area is planned and will commence next year.
We heard about the situation at Nandombe Primary School, especially the crossing point for our people there. We have a challenge, especially our children, our young people, our elder people, that difficult to cross the crossing point to the school. But let me assure our people of Nandombe that we shall make sure that those problems are fixed. Yes, during our campaign 2021, we said to them that no, we shall make sure that the crossing point will be good. But let me sit with our people, especially the stakeholders, the WDC, that we sit together. Yes, we see to it that we organize and we make sure that they write a project proposal.
For now, this remains a promise that parents hope will bring an end to the daily. Reporting for Diamond News in Nalikwanda constituency of Western Province, Christine Musole.
The early rains in Lusaka have already plunged Misisi compound into dangerous flood conditions, with children and adults wading through stagnant, contaminated water that threatens to cause cholera already emerging in parts of the country. Residents are urgently appealing to authorities for help, calling for gravel soil and immediate intervention. Nkoloma Ward 1 Councillor Davis Nchembe says he is aware of the situation and is waiting for the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit to release funds to begin the necessary works. More in this report.
In Lusaka's Misisi compound, the rain season has barely begun. Yet the community is already battling rising flood waters. Children wade through pools of water and residents navigate roads now swallowed by stagnant water, conditions that pose a serious health threat, especially with cholera cases already surfacing in some sections of the country. For the people of Misisi, this is not a new reality. Year after year, the first drops of rain bring with them the same fears, the same damage, and the same desperate calls for help. It is a perennial challenge, one that strips off the sense of safety long before the peak of the rain season arrives. If not addressed, these floods threaten to spread disease, destroy property, and disrupt the lives of thousands. Residents here are pleading for urgent intervention. Our children are prone to diseases because of the current situation. It is really a disaster. We are affected by these rains that have already started.
Situation so mwamene ambira mvula pa imankala yovuta kulibeko pita mvula ikaloka maningi kuli migodi bana wanga kwene migodi so tingapempe kuti kapena wakansela batu batitandizireko kuteretsa koloko matipo ya doti kuti ya manzi ya choki.
Munga mwamene niwonera kuti problem ya daily zaka zonse. So kwa ineneka mwamene mwakambira ati
on my own, I can't do it. As a community, we need to agree so that we can
uliweweka sanga kuvomerere kalungati mulivambire manje paine parwandi ningachikondwere ningachivomekeza.
Nkoloma Ward Councillor has acknowledged the situation, saying he is waiting for the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit.
There are certain other areas which have no outlet for the water, which needs the attention for the DMMU to come in until we receive information from the DMMU to give us the go-ahead. For us, it's a matter of identifying the areas which need attention to be undertaken.
But for now, the people of Misisi watch the skies with worry, knowing that these few early rains are only a warning of what is yet to come. Victoria Kayeye Yambani, Diamond News.
6 people have been sentenced to life imprisonment with hard labor for murdering an elderly man who is also their relative on suspicion that he was a witch and murdered his sister-in-law, identified as Terina Mululuma. This is a case in which the 4 were jointly charged with 1 count of murder, contrary to the Zambian laws. 5 witnesses, including the deceased's son, Clifford Monga, his grandson, the widow, and others testified in the matter. We have more details in this report.
It was an emotional moment at Mazabuka Major Street Court, immediately after 6 people who are related were sentenced to life imprisonment without labor for murdering an elderly man who was also their relative on suspicion that he was a witch, and murdered his sister-in-law identified as Terina Mululuma. This is a case in which Mumbuna Mambule, Winter Monga, Jimmy Habwanyanga, Clever Monga, Bright Ngandu and Wisdom Nserera Sikalungu were jointly charged with 1 count of murder contrary to Section 200, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia, committed on 25th July 2022 in Chikankata district of Southern Province. 5 witnesses, including the deceased son Clifford Monga, his 17-year-old grandson, the widow and others, testified in the matter. The deceased son told the court that while attending a burial conducted by an SDA pastor on 25th July 2022, he observed Mumbuna struck the coffin with a stick while uttering words towards it. As the coffin was being taken for burial, he saw Bright Monga and others acting as pallbearers move in circles and soon realized that the burial was not going to proceed. He rushed to his father's home, where he saw a large group of people from a distance carrying a coffin going towards his residence. And according to court records, after securing his cattle, he returned and witnessed the attackers striking his father. From a tree where he climbed for safety, he identified Webi Monga, Wisdom Monga and Mumbuna assaulting the deceased. Another individual, identified as Fred, hit the deceased with a stone in the ribs, while Wisdom struck the deceased 3 times in the head with an axe. In delivering judgment in the court session, which was filled to capacity, Livingstone High Court Judge Keswin Mlengalombe ruled that the deceased's death was unlawful and resulted from a brutal assault involving multiple assailants, culminating in the victim being beaten and set ablaze. She said the prosecution witnesses, particularly the son and the grandson, were credible despite their close relationship to the deceased, noting that their accounts were coherent, consistent, and corroborated. Judge Lombe further stated that identification was positive, as the witnesses recognized individuals they already knew, and nothing distracted their views. The judge also dismissed the first convict's claims, Mumbuna, of attempting to rescue the deceased, saying they were unsupported by the evidence. She added that all the 6 convicts were clearly identified and having struck the deceased with an axe, consistent with the post-mortem findings which revealed 3 head wounds and extensive burn injuries to the body except the face. The court concluded that the mob attacked and burned the deceased Alfred Monga due to the coffin incident that occurred during the burial of Terina Mululuma. The 6 have since been sentenced to life imprisonment with hard labor for murder, contrary to Section 200, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Helga Chibwe, Diamond News, Mazabuka District in Southern Province.
The China Railway Construction Corporation, CRCC, Group Chairman Mr. Dai Hegen has revealed that the revitalization of the Tazara Railways is set to begin this coming Thursday, 20th November 2025. Speaking, he said he paid a courtesy call on President Hakainde Hichilema at State House. Mr. Dai has expressed gratitude on behalf of the delegation for the president's continued support towards the Tazara revitalization project. Mr. Dai says the milestone agreement made possible through the commitment and collaboration of the relevant ministers has paved the way for works to officially commence. And President Hakainde Hichilema has expressed deep appreciation on behalf of the country, saying he is pleased that the project is now moving forward following the signing of the Memoranda of Understanding.
We would also like to say thank you to Your Excellency for your personal care and support to Tazara project. After signing of the MOU last year, for the following year, the relevant honorable ministers of the government of Zambia, as well as the Joint Technical Committee from the shareholding countries, spent 1 year to conclude the agreements on this project. So without the support from the ministers, without the dedication and efforts from the members of the Joint Technical Committee, the agreements could not be concluded and signed after only 1 year from the signing of the MOU.
We're very, very delighted also on the aspect that I think Tazara in the 70s meant a lot to us. The revitalization of Tazara now means a lot more to us, because over years we realize that now is the time to develop that corridor, as you rightly said, not just the transport carrying goods, but also to develop the country along the route. And I'm happy you're talking of, yes, mining, but also agriculture. Very delighted to hear that. And we would like to pursue these other additional development opportunities for mutual benefit between ourselves and.
You're watching the Diamond News Desk at 8 with me, Tapiwa Ngoma. We're going for our first set of commercials, but before then, let's have a look into our weather to show you what the night and the day tomorrow does look like. Thereafter, we have our Diamond Insight that delves deeper into one of the stories that we're looking at this evening. After that, we'll have our business that's after the break, and thereafter I'll be back with more stories that are making headlines this evening.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Business News Update tonight on the Diamond News Desk at 8. Here are the top stories. Government reiterates support for private sector-led growth. And also take a look at over 6.1 billion kwacha, beg your pardon, which was paid to farmers under FRA. Those are some of the stories we have for you today on the Business News Update. But later on, we'll take a look at some money markets and also some commodity items. And now the news in detail. To present it, my name is Cosmas Chongo Malenga. Now, government says sustainable economic growth depends largely on a vibrant and robust private sector. Speaking during the launch of the Investment Monitoring and Support Services report in Lusaka today, Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry Director of Industry Sichizue Musokotwane says creating conditions that allow both local and foreign investors to operate in a transparent and stable business environment remains critical. He says the ministry has been implementing a series of reforms aimed at promoting industrial development, enhancing trade facilitation and improving the ease of doing business in the country. Meanwhile, European Union delegation representative Lana Zutelija said the report serves as an important call to action for Europe to increase its presence in Zambia and contribute more to foreign investment. Here are the details.
The Zambia Development Agency, working with other cooperating partners, has launched the latest Investment Monitoring and Support Services Survey, a report aimed at strengthening Zambia's investment environment. The survey, produced in collaboration with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, provides fresh insights into how Zambia can better attract, retain and support foreign direct investment in line with the country's Vision 2030. Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry Director of Industry Sichizue Musokotwane says government recognizes that sustainable economic growth depends on a robust private sector.
The government recognizes that sustainable economic growth depends largely on a thriving private sector, and therefore creation of conditions that enable both local and foreign investors to operate in a transparent and stable business environment is critical. To this end, the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry has been embarking on a series of reforms aimed at promoting industrial development, trade facilitation, and enhancing the ease of doing business.
ZDA Director General Albert Halwampa says the findings show strong optimism among investors, with 85% of surveyed companies planning to expand operations in Zambia over the next 3 years.
Through the support of UNIDO, ZDA is ready to assume a central role in mobilizing EU investments in critical infrastructure, digital connectivity and green energy, key enablers of a competitive and resilient economy.
Meanwhile, EU delegation representative Lana Zutelija says the report is also a call to action for Europe, urging greater presence in Zambia and increased contribution to foreign investment.
So we are really extremely happy and proud that the launch of this report comes back to back with this important forum, and at the same time showcases how we continuously from the European Union side continue to support business-focused activities in Zambia and in the region. It is of course a very important part of our Global Gateway strategy, the EU strategy for investments across the world and specifically in Zambia and in Africa. And this is where we want to showcase our investment offer when it comes to, of course, energy, infrastructure, CRM, but also telecommunication, education, health, environment, so across all the important sectors. And this is how we ensure strong links between EU, Africa and Zambia.
With its strategic insights, the report positions Zambia to further enhance its investment ecosystem and reinforce its standing as a destination of choice for investors. Rachel Mumba, for Diamond News.
And now, Agriculture Minister Reuben Phiri says government has so far paid out over 6.1 billion kwacha to farmers who supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, during the 2025 crop marketing season. Delivering a ministerial statement in Parliament on Tuesday, Mr. Phiri says 4.9 billion kwacha has been paid directly to farmers, while about 1.3 billion kwacha has gone towards auxiliary costs related to the maize purchase program. Mr. Mtolo says although FRA had initially planned to buy 543,000 metric tons of maize at a cost of 3.69 billion kwacha, the agency received an overwhelming response following a bumper harvest. He further says government allowed farmers to continue depositing maize to ensure they received a fair price and to safeguard national grain reserves. Let's get more details in this story.
The 2025 crop marketing season, which opened on 30th June and closed on 31st October 2025, has seen numerous farmers across the country voicing concerns over delayed payments for maize purchased by the Food Reserve Agency.
When we sowed maize, we were told they would pay us in 2 weeks' time, and we committed to supporting the government on account that we would get paid on time. But unknowingly, the same government has delayed us. We were left stuck and could not sell to other buyers too.
We have several farmers who have traveled all the way from Mushindamo district to collect their money from the bank. Unfortunately, we have been told that the document containing the list of farmers from Mushindamo is not available. We are crying out for the timely payment so that we can plan and attend to other expenses, such as paying for our children and preparing for the next farming season.
In response to the matter, the Ministry of Agriculture says it has so far paid out a total of 6.1 billion kwacha to farmers who supplied maize to FRA during the 2025 crop marketing season, assuring that every farmer will be paid soon.
So far, Madam Speaker, we have paid out to the farmers 4,882,358,574 kwacha and 64 ngwe to the farmers. And also, Madam Speaker, we have paid 1,276,991,425 kwacha and 36 ngwe in auxiliary costs, related costs, Madam Speaker, transport, loaders, grain bags, and others. Bringing the total amount paid out, Madam Speaker, as at now, 6,159,350,000 kwacha.
As many farmers continue to wait for their outstanding payments, the 2025-2026 farming season has already begun, raising concerns about how the delays may affect production and preparedness for the new cycle. Cherish Sibode for Diamond News.
Well, those are the business news stories we have for you today. Coming up next are the money markets. Well, for the money markets, by end of business day today, the United States dollar was buying at 22 kwacha 8 ngwe and it was selling at 23 kwacha 14 ngwe. Those are the average commercial rates of the two currencies as of end of business day today, Tuesday. Let's now take a look at the construction commodities. Well, for the construction commodities, we have some items lined up for you, two to be particular. And the first item here is construction 100 feet galvanized steel wire, which is going at a price of 330 kwacha, 9 ngwe. That particular price is what you will need to spend on this particular wire. But we also have the drywall steel finishing wood handle plastering trowel. It is going at 424. Well, that trowel, the plastering trowel, as well as the wire itself, are those construction commodities we had for you today. Let's now take a look at the food and non-food items. For the food and non-food items, first up on the list are food items. And on this particular list, we have beef, 1 kg, which will cost you 114 kwacha if you were to purchase it. But 2 kg of sugar will cost you between 64 and 70 kwacha. When it comes to flour, 2.5 kg of flour will cost you 80 kwacha. And 5 kg of Nakonde rice will cost you in between 140 and 180 kwacha. For a tray of eggs, you will need to spend between 95 and 115 kwacha. When it comes to 2.5 liters of cooking oil, you will need to spend between 165 and 180 kwacha. And while 5 liters later on, you need to spend between 235 and 300 kwacha. For millimil breakfast, 10 kg you need to spend between 106 and 139 kwacha. And when it comes to 25 kg of the same breakfast millimil, you need to spend between 204 and 235 kwacha. For roller millimil, 10 kg is between 90 and 100 kwacha, while 25 kg is between 180 and 195 kwacha. Well, those are the food items. But let's take a look at the non-food items. And first up on the list is toilet paper. 10 rolls are going to cost you 70 kwacha, while 175 grams of toothpaste, are going to cost you between 27 and 35 kwacha. A bar of multi-purpose soap will cost you between 35 and 45 kwacha. And when it comes to washing powder, 500 grams will cost you 42 kwacha. 1.5 kg will cost you between 115 and 124 kwacha. And 3.5 kg will cost you between 254 and 270 kwacha. For bathing soap, a bar will cost you between 14 and 40 kwacha, whereas 750 ml of liquid hand wash will cost you 35 kwacha. Well, those are the food and non-food items, as well as the construction commodities we have for you today on the Business News Update. After this, we'll continue with the Diamond News Desk at 8.
You know, there was a time where all of this felt like a dream. Load shedding has turned our lives upside down. Every morning, battling with darkness, preparing the kids for school, it was chaos. Thanks to MySol, I can iron my clothes, blow dry my hair, and have breakfast without a hitch. With MySol, we glide through the day completely uninterrupted. School runs, errands, family time, everything just flows. So why not embrace the best solar solution for the best life? Choose MySol, where every moment counts and every day shines bright.
Join the MySol revolution and power your life with clean, sustainable energy. Call us today on 0961 844428 to find the perfect MySol solar kit for you, your business, and your family. MySol. Best solar, best life.
Welcome back. You're tuned in to the Diamond News Desk at 8 with me, Tapiwa Ngoma. Let's delve into the major developments that are shaping the news cycle this evening. Our next story this evening, the early rains in Lusaka have already plunged Misisi compound into dangerous flood conditions, with children and adults wading through stagnant, contaminated water that threatens to cause cholera already emerging in parts of the country. Residents are urgently appealing to authorities to help, calling for gravel soil and immediate intervention. Nkoloma Ward 1 Councillor Davis Chembe says he is aware of the situation and is waiting for the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit to release funds to begin the necessary works. We have more in this report. Apologies for that. More stories this evening. Universal Mining and Chemical Industries under the Trade Kings Group has handed over a rehabilitated 1x2 classroom block at Chanshinka Primary School in Shibuyuni District, valued at 250,000 kwacha. Mining Corporate Affairs and Relations Officer Henry Mfula says the company's quick response follows a disaster that hit the school on September 1st when the strong winds blew off the roof. He says the gesture is meant to ensure the government's free education policy continues without disruption.
Located in the heart of Shibuyunji District, Central Province, is Shanshika Primary School, which offers both early childhood education and primary classes. But on September 1st, 2025, a whirlwind ripped through the area and destroyed the school's main building. This forced pupils and teachers to move their lessons and even the just-ended Grade 7 examinations to a nearby church. To restore hope, Universal Mining and Chemicals Industries, a subsidiary of the Trade Kings Group, has officially handed over a newly rehabilitated 1x2 classroom block to the school. The classroom block, rebuilt at an estimated cost of 250,000 kwacha, replaces the structure that was blown off during the disaster. Speaking during the handover, Universal Mining Corporate Affairs and Relations Officer Henry Mfula says the company acted quickly to make sure that education continues without disruption.
I would love to urge the community here to treasure this facility so that we can encourage other sponsors to come to it, because this is just the beginning of a long journey and the partnership ahead. And
Mwembeshi Constituency Member of Parliament Njamba Majila says the new classroom building will greatly improve the quality of education for children in Shanshika village, and thanked Trade Kings for their consistent support, describing the structure as a symbol of hope and a bright future.
Marks the hope, the future, and also the good health of our people here in Shanshika. Trade Kings, you have built a better foundation of resilience, a better foundation for our education.
Meanwhile, school head teacher Manjeya Chisala and a representative from the District Education Board say the completed block will make a big difference in creating a better learning environment for pupils.
Thank you all for coming to witness the inauguration of our new block, which was blown off. I tell you, it has been hectic for our learners during that time. Because that time when it happened, our Grade 7 learners were about to write their exams. Okay. The learners told me to say that, Madam, this time around we have even changed just because of the environment which has changed for our structure, the building itself. So we are even forced now to build in English.
Your investment in our school structure will leave a long-lasting legacy in education and well-being of our pupils. We are grateful for your commitment to improving the quality of education in our community.
Cherish Siwate for Diamond News.
In Kasanengwa District, Eastern Province, a community's dream for quality education for its youngest learners is finally being realized. Since 2022, children at Chikuwe Community School have endured lessons under trees in a makeshift mud structure, a situation that hindered quality learning and access to basic early childhood education. But their academic journey has taken a bright turn with a state-of-the-art classroom block courtesy of Trade Kings Foundation. We have more details in this report.
This was the structure of luxury for education for the children of Chikuwe Community School in Kasanengwa District, Eastern Province, established in 2022. This modern tree infrastructure was a constant challenge here, but now, where shadows of trees once served as blackboards and sacks were used for alphabetical order, now stand solid walls.
We would like to thank the government and Trade Kings Foundation for building us a school. You have given us a future, for we are the future of this nation. God, the future belongs to us. We will work hard. Thank you.
I'm one of the few this afternoon to testify
what we just used to see in social media, where Trade Kings Foundation was helping somewhere in the country, and today it's in Eastern Province. Trade Kings Foundation, we are very grateful to you for what you have done to us. Previously, our learners were learning under this tree here, and also these church buildings that you see here. And also we used to have what we call misasa here, classrooms made of nsungwi, or bamboo sticks. But today we have a 1x3 classroom block. We are greatly honored and we thank you so much.
This new 1x3 classroom block from the Trade Kings Foundation is more than just bricks. It's a promise to a generation that their education matters.
And you'd agree with me that education enhances dignity. It is education that gives freedom. It is education that enables that every single person can walk with dignity. So the foundation this afternoon, if it's afternoon already, is extremely delighted because in the foundation, education is an important element which we believe every child should have access to this development.
This is the government desire as well.
Small thanking Trade King Foundation that government will remain committed and support this gesture, support your work everywhere you go. We are thrilled to see that you are supporting in every area of livelihood.
With this fully packaged solar system, the sun now powers not just the lights, but their dreams. The traditional leadership is glad.
Kumwambo kwacu sacheva stifuna mbuli chifa kuni science and technology.
For these pupils and their parents, this isn't just a building, it's the foundation of a brighter future built to last. Samuel Sylvester Kwawe, Diamond News, Eastern Zambia.
You're tuned into the Diamond News Desk at 8 with me, Tapiwa Ngoma. We take our final set of commercials. We'll be back with more stories this evening. You're watching the Diamond News Desk at 8. I'm Tapiwa Ngoma. As we move forward, we turn our focus to the developments that are redefining today's agenda. Stories with impact, context, and consequence. Let's take a closer look at the narratives that are shaping the evening, with the first story coming in from Lusaka, where Chunga compound have raised alarm with the residents over the safety of the Kabole Bridge, which connects main Chunga to Chunga East, describing it as a danger to the public, especially during the rainy season. The bridge, completed less than a year ago under the Constituency Development Fund, is alleged to be too low and becomes fully submerged when it rains, making it difficult for school children and other residents to cross. Residents say the bridge is a vital route to the local market, schools, and a clinic, and its current condition has caused widespread fear among households that depend on it daily. And Mwembeshi Ward 32 Councillor Crispin Kabole says he will look into the matter and work to find a solution.
This is the Kalowe Bridge in Chunga, submerged and inaccessible after heavy rain. Some residents say the bridge is too low and they are now calling on relevant authorities to take action.
Mazi bridge inankala maningi pansi so mazi vama sefukira oyenda pa mwamba.
The problem is that the bridge is too low and gets submerged when there's a lot of water. We can't move freely. Most of us here pass on this bridge, and when it rains in Kanyama or town, all the water flows to our direction and the bridge gets flooded.
So please tipempa mutithandizireko munjira iliyonse kutithandizira pa biriji kayendedwe kuno kulibe kopitira kulikonse konse kuli manzi. So tipempa mwantha mulungu tiyanganeni kuno shuwa mutithandize pakalibe opita ntawi nda vana wonse vasukulu amaleka kuyenda kusukulu.
Tiliko na problemu nkani ya manzi amene ka bridge yaka mvula sometimes uko yaluka mtauni kapena yaluka pani kuti kabolo zula na kupita tima kangwa kupita tima vutika mopitira.
The problem is we use this bridge to cross the other side to fetch water. We don't have taps on our end. We can't pass when the bridge is submerged. We are pleading with the government to help us.
Isivuto facing kuno monga kuchunga kuno tena ma challenges yoke yambiri monga mwamonera.
We have a lot of challenges. Once the bridge floods, children can't go to school and some of us can't even report for work.
The
councillor doesn't even visit the community. We spoke to Mwembeshi Ward 13 councillor, Mr. Crispin Kalobe.
Now that you have received the report that it has been submitted, it is on the lower side, they are supposed to be on the higher side. I think it's from there now that we're going to pick up to see what can be done.
For now, residents here can only hope that the next downpour does not bring another shutdown. Edna Mwimbi.
Minister of Health, Dr. Elijah Mchima, has urged Southern and Eastern African countries to confront public health threats openly, warning that threats remain far more costly than prevention. Speaking during the Regional Advisory Committee meeting on the Multi-Phase Programmatic Approach, MPA, Dr. Mchima has stressed the need for more community health workers, greater transparency in managing outbreaks, and respect for donor resources. And World Bank lead specialist Dr. Ramesh Govindaraj says the MPA is a unique investment enabling shared resources and collaboration across the region, emphasizing the importance of identifying priority areas that urgently need attention.
In a region where borders cannot stop disease, this high-level Regional Advisory Committee meeting has brought together countries from East, Central and Southern Africa under one purpose: to strengthen collective action against some of the most persistent and dangerous health threats. Cholera, Mpox and Ebola continue to challenge communities across the region. Diseases that demand not just national responses, but a united regional strategy. It is within this collaborative space that health leaders and partners gathered to review progress under the World Bank-supported multi-phase programmatic approach, a platform designed to enhance surveillance, improve preparedness, and build stronger health systems that protect millions of lives.
When the HEPA program was initiated in 2024, we started with 3 pioneering countries. Consequently, this number has grown to now 10 countries participating in the program.
We are deeply grateful to the World Bank and to the leadership of Dr. Ramesh and his team, who have worked hand in hand with us to ensure that the program is implemented with highest fidelity.
Representing the World Bank is Dr. Ramesh Govindaraj, lead specialist.
This does underscore the need for coordinated regional action. The MPA's regional perspective allows us to align strategies, share resources, and foster collaboration.
At the center of the day's discussion, Zambia's Minister of Health, Elijah Mchima, has reminded the region that honesty and prevention are its strongest tools.
This RAC committee must reaffirm our shared resolve to act decisively and together. Let us use this platform to strengthen multi-sectoral coordination across countries and sectors, deepen data sharing and cross-border collaboration, advance governance frameworks that ensure accountability, and mobilize sustainable financing for preparedness, including investments in local vaccine and health product manufacturing.
Together, these voices echo a single message. The region's health security depends on cooperation, transparency in sustained commitment, because no country is safe until all are protected. Mtinda Hamsangwa, Diamond News.
Mutinta's story brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. So glad that you could be a part of it and paid attention to the stories that are making headlines this evening. My name is Tapuan Ngoma, and as always, it's always a pleasure bringing you these stories. We have more of these stories on our Facebook pages, our Twitter page, as well as our website, DiamondTVZambia.com. Until next time, have a pleasant evening and God bless.